Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Martin Wenzel, and this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Well, we're currently in Tuvalu at Funafuti International Airport. For our World Tour Flight 253, we're going to be flying back down to Suva, Fiji, Nausori International Airport in Nausori, to be specific, but near Suva, which is the capital of Fiji. Flying here out of Funafuti International Airport from Funafuti Atoll in the island nation of Tuvalu. This airport leaves a little bit to be desired, but we'll make do with it. So we're in the AT76 One more flight in this plane scheduled on this world tour so far. We might see it again. Definitely going to be flying this plane in the future for other flights. Maybe not on the world tour, but getting more used to it, getting better with the approaches, takeoffs, all that good stuff. We are flight 280 on Fiji Link 280, and we're gonna be taking off 12:20. Let's see what time we got here. I think we're live time actually. Oh yeah, that's perfect actually. We're just like that. The birds are out there tweeting like crazy because they sit right next to my window, and they're just freaking annoying. Actually, let's see if I can bump this right to 12, and then we're right on the dot. Unfortunately, I can't. Go. Oh, look at that. Perfect. There we go. 12 p.m. here in Tuvalu. Real time, I think, is a little bit earlier, but maybe an hour or two earlier. Not sure how. Actually, that doesn't make any sense, to be honest. Probably middle of the night. Okay, so let's get inside the plane and get things ready to go. All right, so first we're going to go over to EFB. Get those ground power, wheel chocks. We'll open the doors. Leave the tail prop off. Even though really you'd have that on. I'm always concerned with having the wheel chocks and the tail prop. We'll turn these both off because these other three you can kind of, well, I don't know about the doors. I think these you can deal with. If this screen ever freezes up, you're kind of screwed. If your tail prop and wheel chocks, you can't even move with the wheel chocks. Tail prop you can get away with. It'll just be hanging on the end of your plane and look silly. Let's import the flight plan. Right there it is. We're going runway 3 direct to Atoll, Dubop, Atopo, Abvat, Agsec, Anrik. Basically, we're doing the same exact flight plan in reverse that we did last time, and then we'll be coming in runway 10. We'll be using the ILS, and we'll get a little bit more specific there. You can see we got the MEDAR for the 18th at 1100 Zulu, variable wind 2 knots, so wind is kind of negligible. Unlimited visibility, few clouds at 1800 feet. I'm not sure what TCU is. Scattered clouds at 2000, and it's 28 degrees Celsius. Beautiful day. A little warm actually out here in Tuvalu. And of course, QNH 1009. We can set the flight plan, set the fuel, set the payload. We'll go back to payload here, load the aircraft, start loading, go, and we'll set the trim, do all these preliminary things there. Go on this page and jump back to our, man, those birds are driving me nuts. They sit right on the windowsill, right outside my window, right next to our air conditioner. They just tweet all day. Turn that music down so we can hear the beautiful sounds of this plane. All right, so first things, get the battery on. Wipers are off, propeller brake is on, EEC and ATPCS are all on. Pec 1 and Pec 2 on. Landing gear is down, weather radar off, parking brake set, power levers ground and idle, or ground idle, so GI, feather in the fuel shut-off position, and our flaps are uh-oh. Kidding me, right? Kidding me. Everything's set to go, and we're having issues with this. Alright, so what that means is we're gonna do, we're gonna just restart the whole dang flight. I don't think I've ever been able to do an ATR flight yet where I haven't had to restart it in these last few streams. Kinda ridiculous. Kinda stupid how something like that happens. Basically what happened was is I accidentally started the flight on the runway, and I want to do the full startup, so I guess we'll have to start over as usual. Now, I don't have the camera on. I'm actually feeling slightly better today, getting over at least my head cold here. Feeling a little bit better. But now today I am covered in, I don't know what, if it's bed bugs or I have no idea what the... Right ramps? Yes. Okay. I'm like covered in bug bites or something, spider bites or what, I don't know what it is. To the point where my hands are swollen up and they are painful, like if I itch them or try to, you know, when I bend my hands and stuff, it's just super painful. I got bug bites all over my body. I don't know what happened. So definitely gonna be looking for bed bugs or something. I have no idea what's going on. Alright, well, a slightly bit different position here for the fuel box. Doesn't like that, though. And kind of go there, and I think that still works for GSX. Again, kind of a rough airport here. Perfect. Let's try this again. Fingers crossed, things are not completely... Why are my flaps not working? Now, are we not able to do this because we're not started yet? Okay, this is just a little worrisome. Okay, all the settings are right. So we must not be able to move those. I'm really concerned about the flaps. I hope we're not going to have an issue with that. Not letting me move the flaps. And is that because I did a move? I don't. All right, let's try one more time. We're not going to touch the plane. We're just going to try to see if we can do the flaps. So this is something I've not run into. And of course, we're running into here on stream because why not, right? Why not? Okay. We're not at suitable parking yet. Let's see. Still having flaps issues. So, but at least they're in flap 0. Go into a suitable parking spot and no, stop. Where this sim losing his mind today. All right. Why is it rotating? What is going on here? Stop rotating. What is...
50, 30, 20.
I have no idea what is going on with this plane. What is going on here? I have never had... I swear, I set this all up right before we started the stream. Had no problem doing... slightly moving the plane. Now I slightly move the plane and it just loses its mind. All right, one more try. If it doesn't work. Okay. What is going on? Why? Okay. Slightly more. Okay. Oh my goodness. Flight Simulator just decided to lose its mind this morning. Alright. Let's get inside this plane and get things started. So restart all this. Import. Set flight plan. Fuel. Set payload. Payload. Set takeoff trim. Load the aircraft. Go. Set the takeoff trim. Performance. Ground power. Cargo door. Main door. Cold and dark. Okay. Oh man. Alright, we got battery on. Alright, we'll just say we did all this checks. I can't do anything with the flaps. Hopefully the flaps are working, and I've never tried to move the flaps before at this point, so maybe that's all it is. Let's get our external power. And we'll go down here to fuel pumps, run. Landing gear lights, verify 3 green. Engine 1 fire test. Squib. Fire and fault. Good. Nav light. On. Logo light on. DC generators are both on. They have faults. Emergency exit lights armed. Windshield heating. Probes heating. We have ACW Gen 2 fault. And then hydraulic power. 1, 2, 3. Oxygen main supply on. Engine 2 fire test. If you're doing this fire test, try to just use your mouse or not, or your like the wheel on your mouse. Don't try to press here because you might accidentally press on this. If you do that, you won't be able to start the engine. It'll deploy the fire thing, and then you'll have to just restart the flight. There you go. Just use the wheel once you got that little arrow thing. All right, let's jump into the flight computer at this point. Okay, flight plan is basically in there. Atoll, Dubop, Atopo. Get flight clearance. Okay, no flight clearance here since we are basically at a non-towered airport, I guess. We're gonna go runway 3. Atoll, Etopop, Abvat, Agsec, Anric, and then November Foxtrot, November Alpha, which is our Suva airport. We're gonna do ILS 10, and it's not giving me a transition, which is very interesting. There should be a transition. Weird that there's not a transition. I'm gonna see if I can put this in. We're gonna go to Delta 020 November. We should be able to put that in. I think it's gonna be that one. Yes. Hear this. Go. All right. A few speed bumps, but we're looking all right. Still alive. All right, so we got the route. Let's go back into menu. Press 1, init. Did all that. Gonna go performance, init, and wait. Don't know why that's different. Numbers keep changing on me. Alright, cruising is going to be 17,000 today. Max cruise. Our takeoff speeds, rotate 104, V1 104, V rotate 104, and V2 110. Transition altitude 11,000 feet. Alright. Flight plan. Alright, take off data, set, fuel used, transponder, go right here. Transponder, we're gonna go 7,000 for now since we don't have anything, we're on standby. Altimeter, that's that. Here you can see 1009, perfect. Power management selector, takeoff, and let's start getting passengers, everyone loaded. See if GSX will let us do that.
Boarding requested. Do you want to board crew? Passengers bus is coming.
That looks good. Yeah. Oh! Look at the magic bus. Can I not open my doors? Good.
Passengers boarding starting. Not the Dash 8, the AT7600. Similar, if I'm not mistaken. They're pretty similar. As far as beam propellers. Yep, reality, we wouldn't have a bus here. We'd probably just be walking out the terminal, but I didn't set this airport up with GSX because it's basically just the generic prefab auto-generated from Asobo and everything.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, those birds, I'm gonna like lose my mind. Alright, so takeoff data is set. We got the V1 rotate and takeoff. Got everything we need there. Looks good. Trims set, tail prop on board, and we're waiting on the doors. No problem, no problem. Yeah, doing the ATR. 2 more flights with this. So this one, and then short little hop over to Nadi, and then we'll be back into the A320s and the 737s, and hopefully I don't forget how to fly this plane, because I do want to fly it some more. Same with the CRJ, got to get back into that. It's just a matter of finding the time to fit in flights. My immediate concern, though, after this flight is probably going to be maybe running over to the clinic or something, because my hands are swelling up. I'm covered in all these bug bites or something, and I don't know when it happened. It happened in the middle of the night. I got covered in bug bites, and I don't know if they're bed bugs or what, but I am just absolutely covered in bites and swelling. You know, after still being sick after a week with a the nice summer cold, getting all congested and runny nose, and just been kind of a mess of a week here. Of course, feeling a little bit better, or woke up feeling better at least on the cold side of things, but now have all this weird swelling and bug bites and itching everywhere, so I have no idea. Dash 8 has gears on the propellers. ATR has gears on the fuselage. Ah, yes. Yeah, you're right. That is what the difference is. Yeah, Dash 8 has those long landing gears right on the... Now, does the Dash 8 have it over the top? The wing on the top or on the bottom? Dash... Oh yeah, exactly what I was thinking of when I was looking. Yep, just a slightly different kind of, probably similar, a little bit sleeker. I feel like the ATR is a little, kind of looks like a Guppy, almost like the Guppy Airbus a little bit, the nose, whereas at least this picture of an Air Berlin Dash 8, it looks a little bit sleeker. So not as snubby with the cockpit. A little bit of a sleeker, kind of a CRJ style cockpit, a little bit more. A little bit longer. Similar looking cockpit. Things are moved a little bit in different places slightly. I'm looking at it, but you still got the feathering and the gust locks and stuff, but everything's in slightly different positions, of course, but mostly the same kind of knobs and buttons, which is kind of interesting how, depending on the size of the plane, it seems like, even though they're different companies, they kind of have similar feel to them, both being prop planes. Oh, damn. Alright, see what else we gotta get set before we get too long. Alright, nav source is on FM1. Could put the heading on departing runway. Roll mode is, we're gonna go nav. Pitch mode IAS. Altitude pre-selector, we were cleared for, we didn't get cleared for anything, so we'll go direct to 10,000, start. Alright, 10,000 set. Speed mode over here, we're going to keep it in the manual set to 170, which is our climb speed. Weather radar is in standby. Idle gate is pulled. Rudder trim, aileron 0, elevator trim set for takeoff, and we'll call the final cockpit preparation a checklist. We already did that one. So now we're on the before propeller rotation checklist, waiting to close the doors. Close the crew door, or the passenger doors. Seatbelts on, no device light on. And we'll turn that beacon light on. Our pieces of baggage and be on our way. See, I'm not sure if we start the engines before they hook up. I think we really actually do. We're gonna go. Wait, what am I doing wrong here?
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Oh, are you kidding me? Why can't I start my engines? Yeah, I can move my flaps now. This guy's head is sticking through.
Locking gear.
Can't I start my engines? We have ground power. Do I need the wheel chocks? Why can't I start the engines? Ah, I'm an idiot. There we go. Well, I'm kind of just sensitive now because we've been having the issues starting up here. What am I doing wrong here? Why is nothing starting? Okay. What am I doing wrong? We have ground power. Oh, this morning is going great. Half an hour in, can't get anything to work. I swear, you move this plane 2 inches and you can't start the engines. What is going on? What did I do wrong today? Done everything like I have, and suddenly this plane doesn't want to work. What are we doing? Internal power's on, so we should be able to start the engines. We have fuel. No engine start. Awesome. These are always my favorite. I don't want to do emergency procedures and try to figure this crap out because I don't have time for this. This is like on days where... what are we doing here? Not working. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help. None of these procedures are very useful. Oh, why can't I start the engine? Am I... Okay. I'm gonna read my paperwork here. Yeah, I put the fuel pumps on. What is going on? Set engine start selector to A, B, or A or B. Press start to push button and verify on, which we did, and then at 10%. But see, that's the thing, we're not getting any buildup. We're not getting a fault either, for that matter. So we just can't start the engine. I'm getting really irritated today. Thank you. That's amazing. It's nothing will start up. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do another restart here, and we'll see if we can get this plane to actually start up today. And if not, I'm going to be irritated all day because I wasted one of my days off not being able to fly. Stupid flight I have scheduled. Alright, so we're gonna go. Now, I'm wondering if I move my plane, is it just wreck everything? Seems like it does. Problem is like you can't find out anything until basically 20 minutes in. Load the aircraft. Okay. Set the trim. Ground power. Cargo door. We're just not going to load with GSX now. We're just going to do this. We're going to do it quick. Alright, battery on. Internal power available. Belts on. No device on. Okay, we're back at that point. Gotta wait for all our screens to come up. Alright, taking off runway 3. Put that in. And then LS 10. We'll deal with that a little bit later if we're up in the air. Performance. It. 1000. Weight. Okay. Alright. Okay, now for some reason I got 2 of these screens. In the world is going on today? Okay, so now 2 of my screens are doubling. My screens are just doubling up, and I can't adjust them. Like, usually you can click on the screens to get on different screens. Alright, well, at this point, I'm going to just blow up this stream, and we're just gonna... I don't know, okay. Main menu, we're starting over. We're just gonna start the whole thing over. We're gonna see if we can... I want to be in a parking spot where I can use GSX, but it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to do that because every time I move the plane, the ATR gets screwed up, it seems. I go here. Ramp 4. Okay, that's where I want to be. Okay. Fingers crossed. Wasting a ton of time. Half an hour in. Not happy at all about this. It's just disaster. We're definitely going to be using time acceleration because this is a 3-hour flight and already wasting a ton of time just trying to get off the ground. I'm almost at the point where it's like we're just going to start on the runway. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. Just what is going on? Why are there a million fuel boxes now? Like, this airport is losing its mind. And we're not in the spot. Usually we're in the building. So, okay, now there's extra stuff that wasn't there before. I don't know what's going on. Really confused. This is wild. I've never run into this problem. Very weird. All right, ground power. Okay, one more time. Let's see if we can get this going. All right, everything's set up there. Go down into our flight computer, our runway. We'll deal with the rest later. Let's go to performance, 11,000 transition, NIT, 17,000 cruise, and we should be, oh, And yes, things are looking better. All right, let's try to do a pushback. Or let's start our engine and get the pushback going. Okay, so we're available. Go here, start, and on. And there we go. The engine is starting. We're at 10%, so let's go to feather. 45%. The starting light should go off. There it goes. And of course we are gonna run right into that sign, but that's just the nature of where we are. I'm not gonna mess with where we were parked. Let's even get the pushback going. They do. Go. What an adventure. Alright, let's go to auto.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
I am ready for pushback too, thank you. Wheel chocks removed. Ground power removed. Yes? Why am I getting a master caution for that? Be fine.
Departure checks completed.
Do you have a DC Gen 2? One thing I didn't do was beacon light. Alright. Creepy head sticking through.
Locking gear.
Alright, sorry about the delay on our startup. Once we start getting pushed back, we'll get the safety brief going, and let's see, we want to go. We want to push our tail back to. We'll just go straight pushback.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push.
Alright, starting engine 1.
Engines clear. Start at will.
Feather. Get pushed back so that we can taxi our way out to the runway.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
We have good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking.
Boa and welcome on board this Fiji Airways flight. Our commitment to safety is matched only by our love for nature and environment around
Bypass
us.
pin removed.
Welcome to our home.
Lift is clear.
Please
Right
give
is
us your
clear.
full attention as we take you through this important safety briefing and on a journey of discovery into some of the actions we've taken to preserve our
Alright, taxiing
wonderful
to the
little
runway.
home.
Firstly, please check that your tray table is stowed away,
Not
your
done.
seat is in the upright position, and your window shade is open.
Done. Leave me alone, GSX. Bye. Okay. Set or release? What are we doing, GSX?
hand luggage must be stored in
Oh
the
my
overhead compartment
goodness.
or under the seat in front of you.
Can't decide what it's
And
doing.
all large portable electronic devices, such as laptops
Alright,
and
taxi
notebooks,
and takeoff
must be
lights
stowed away
on.
prior to takeoff
Brakes
and
check.
landing.
Takeoff config test right here. Not what I wanted. All.
All approved portable electronic devices must be switched to flight or airplane mode.
This is
for
the most
entire
janky
duration of
start to a flight I've
If
had
flight
in
or airplane
probably
mode is
since
not available,
August
then ensure
2020 when
your
we first got
device
the
is
flight
switched
simulator.
off. If your portable electronic device gets trapped in your seat, do not move the seat. Call your crew for assistance. We remind our guests that smoking, including electronic cigarettes, is not permitted anywhere on board.
Clear left, clear right.
Your seatbelt needs to be fastened whenever you are seated in case of unexpected turbulence. To fasten, clip the belt together and pull the strap tightly. To release it, simply lift the flap or push the buckle. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you may be instructed to take the brace position. In any emergency, follow your crew members' instructions. Illuminated strips on the floor and lights close to the exits will guide you to the nearest exit if visibility is restricted. Your cabin crew will now point out the exits nearest to you. Please take the time to familiarize yourself with the nearest exit, keeping in mind that it may be behind you.
Alright,
The
final
exits
check
are
here.
equipped with evacuation provisions which
Strobes,
will be
landing
operated
lights
by
on.
the crew if needed.
You can get through the safety brief.
A life jacket is located under your seat or in a compartment in the center wall for our business class guests.
Alright. Finish that. Since we're taking off. Short taxi, alright. Go, let's make sure we got our altimeter set right. There it is. Notch position. Take off. Positive rate, gear up. Alright, autopilot set. Climb speed 170. Crossing 4,000 feet. And we'll get up to 17,000. It looks like my animations have kind of frozen up on the plane. Happens every once in a while. Oh, maybe not. Looks like the propellers aren't moving, but the... Alright, after takeoff checklist, landing gear up, flaps 0, power management, climb. Climb. Engine bleed on, taxi takeoff lights off. 10,000 feet, landing lights off. We've been running into all kinds of trouble on this stream, so thanks for sticking in there. Finally getting the GPS map work right. Everything is just kind of off today. Turn the seatbelt signs off, let the passengers move out if they need to. Turn off the engine start switch, that should have gone off. Beacon, nav, strobe, logo, we'll keep those on. And obviously our bottom ones are all off. About 2 hours, 37 minutes on the flight. We'll probably go into time acceleration here. And I'm gonna, man, my hands are killing me here. They're swelling up, they're itchy. I'm just covered in bug bites. I don't know what it is. It's really weird. This is, I don't know, since when? I mean, what was, man, it's just like the 9th, I think. It's been like a week and a couple days now. Kind of, you know, had Monday off last week, went swimming with my son, took him to swimming lessons, and since then I've been kind of under the weather with kind of a head cold. I think I was a little bit under the weather before that. Yeah, I've been stuck with that, and then today I wake up with all these bug bites or something going on. So, ay. If I can at least get this flight in. I'd like to, maybe this afternoon, maybe after this, we'll see what it looks like. But we'll try to get that short little hop over to Nadi to set up for the rest of this world tour. Looking forward. Don't have them scheduled yet on YouTube, but working on that. But moving forward, we're going to be out of Nadi. We're going to be flying up to Tarawa Banriki International Airport. We're going into Kiribati, country of Kiribati. We'll be on the Boeing 737-800 in Fiji Airways. From there, we'll have a couple Air Nauru flights in the Boeing 737. In a new livery for Air Nauru, different than the one that I flew when I did the same flights back in X-Plane. So we'll be flying out to Nauru International Airport, and then we'll be flying to the Solomon Islands, both Nauru Airlines Flight 42. I'm not sure why they're both Flight 42, but they are. And those are usually flown in the 737-300, but we'll obviously be doing it in one of the PMDG planes that I have, which will be the 700, which has delivery for the Air Nauru. Out of the Solomon Islands, we'll be flying over to Papua New Guinea on Air New Guinea in the Boeing 737-800. And then we'll be flying up to Palau, for Air New Guinea. That one I'm not sure. I'd probably be doing in the 737-800. The real life flight is in the 767, 300, I believe that is. But I don't think there's a 76 available, and definitely probably not with the proper livery either. So yeah, we have a stretch here. Once we get out of the ATR, we're going to be basically in the 737-700 for a couple flights, but the rest of them are going to be the 800s until we get over into, we're going to be well into Japan, Asia, Mongolia, Korea, both North and South Korea. We're going to be in the 737-800 for most of that. Kind of almost flying the same flights, well, not the same flights exactly, but a lot of familiar flights to me, flying an X-Plane. And when I flew an X-Plane, I flew the 737-800 exclusively over here. So we're going to be flying the 737-800 for quite a bit. We're going to have a stretch of 5 United flights in a row between Guam and the Marshall Islands, Micronesia, Guam, back to Guam, and then to the Northern Mariana. Then we'll be going Jeju Air up to South Korea. Then over to Japan on Asiana. We might fly the Asiana flight on the 747 from Korea over to Japan. From Seoul to Tokyo, Incheon to Tokyo. Then we'll have a longer one on Mongolian Airlines. That'll be a 737-800 over to Ulaanbaatar. And then from there, we'll back to Beijing on Air China. And then from Beijing into Pyongyang in North Korea. So we will be flying into North Korea. We're eventually going to be flying into Yemen and Syria and a few of these other places we kind of missed or skipped later on. But we're going to try to get into every country and territory in the world, regardless of political status. Out of North Korea, we're going to fly down to Shanghai to set up to go down to Macau. And at that point, the flight to Macau will actually be on Junyao Airlines, and we'll finally be back into the Airbus, the A320. And we'll do a bunch of Airbus flights in a row. And then it's going to be kind of a lot of Airbuses, and every once in a while jumping into the 737. But we have a stretch of about 10, 15 flights in the Boeing 737. So we're going to get pretty used to Boeing again. That'll be pretty fun. And then we'll kind of be back into a lot of Airbus with the Boeing scattered in. But yeah, at this point I'm looking at my list here. I have the rest of our flights planned. We're on flight 253 right now. Basically, I have about 311 flights planned. We're going to kind of... I mean, once we get to Syria, we're kind of just looking at what we have here. Yeah, we're going... I'm doing point to point all the way through, just like I've been doing, all the way until we get to Syria. We're going to go to a few places again, like Kuwait. We're going to repeat. We've been there. But then into Syria, back into Dubai, Saudi Arabia, a couple places we've already been. But then we'll fly into Yemen. And then from Yemen, we'll fly into Palestine. And we're going to go to Yasser Arafat International Airport, which doesn't exist anymore. But there is a downloadable version, and that's what we'll fly into. And that will be our last flight that will be a continuous on this world tour. Then we're going to start, we're going to have a couple flights where we're just going to have to hop to other places and do it. I have one plan to maybe fly to somewhere in Antarctica. I'm not sure how I'm going to get there, what that flight's going to be. But for sure, we're going to do a Montreal to St. Pierre Airport and St. Pierre and Miquelon up in Canada. St. Pierre and Miquelon are actually part of France. But they're right up there. It's an island right off of Canada, so we'll do that flight, knock that off of our list. There's a number of other places that we might try to get to do a complete world tour to every place included on Volanta as countries and territories. Check off. But at this point, yeah, we have yeah, basically 311 flights or so, maybe a few more scattered in there to knock off a few extra ones, but that's what I've got planned. We're going to finish up in the Middle East. We're going to finish up in Palestine, which is, kind of interesting place to finish up on the whole tour. But just kind of the nature of where we started and where we're going to end. Really, kind of a really cool experience. So we still have another, 58 flights to go. Yeah, 58. 58 flights to go. So should be able to finish up by the end of this year if we can get 2 flights in a day, or 2 flights in every week. And then once finished the world tour, it'll be kind of open what we'll do on the live stream. Maybe do a lot more a pilot's life. I'll do some SkyWest flying on pilot's life, and maybe kind of just look around at just fly different airlines that are pretty cool looking airlines to fly. Alright, so I got the speed up to 245. We're going to go to cruise. And I don't know if we'll get up to 245. It usually kind of bottoms out at 200. Or tops out at 200. Now we're still on our way to Atoll, our first waypoint, 123 nautical miles. Zoom that out. That should be a standard for our altimeter. Alright. And since we're here, I'm going to go and bump on the... kind of speed up this flight a little bit.
Sim rate 2.
Sim rate 2. Go with that for a while. Clock moves a little faster. Yeah, so I'm just looking at discussion for Beyond ATC, which I'm looking forward to, but I'm a little. I didn't watch the latest interview, but it sounds like the pricing is going to be a little bit of a subscription, or there's going to be an upfront pricing, but then you get like 200 hours of the premium voices, the good ATC voices, and then after that you have to pay more for that. The problem is that I think a lot of people are going to get hooked on those nice ATC voices up front, and then when they have to make that decision, do I want to keep paying for more, or do I just let it go to the kind of the stock voices that we have right now with FS HUD ATC, kind of, you know, just those digital voices. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to the functionality, and then we'll see about those voices. But the voices sound great for what I've heard. But yeah, it'll be really nice to have that really cool ATC, a better ATC. FS HUD ATC offers something pretty good, but where FS HUD ATC kind of falls short is that it basically, you tell it where you want to land. You give it all the parameters. You're like, hey, I want to... It doesn't adjust according to the weather. So it'll shoot you like, hey, here's the approach that we're giving you. And then you can choose to do a different approach. You can say, hey, no, I want this other approach. And it'll then call you in on that. And it interacts with the other, like, AI planes. Injected planes, which is pretty cool. But what would be even better is if it reacted to the weather and, okay, this is the runway we're using for departure and takeoff right now because of the winds. And it does that with the AI planes, and it also does it with you. And you kind of, ATC feels more, you know, more like a VAT sim, right? And so that's where Beyond ATC, I think, is what I'm looking forward to with the Beyond ATC is that it's going to let you, first of all, talk. It's going to have voice recognition, so you can talk to the ATC, and so you can practice your calls and stuff instead of having to fly on VATSIM all the time. Again, some of us just aren't comfortable on VATSIM yet, or we fly a lot of places. Like, for example, this flight, there's just no VATSIM coverage out Tuvalu and Fiji. It's just not happening. And so it's nice to have the, you know, the proper ATC in those places when you're flying not on VATSIM. So Beyond ATC, I think, is going to be really good. Keeping an eye on it. A little concerned about the pricing, but I think at the same time it'll be worth it. Jam Society, welcome in. How you doing? It's flying over the Pacific right now, flying direct south from Tuvalu to Fiji in the ATR 72. Let's get an outside view of the ATR. There we are. Looks like we're moving a little fast. That's because I've got it on 2x speed. Not a ton to see out here in the ocean, but get a view from the... That's got to be a wild view, having that propeller right there. I wish I could say I'm doing good too. I'm doing all right. I'm feeling, at least right now, not terrible with my head cold that I've had for about the last week, 2 weeks. Been congested and runny nose and all that stuff, and sore throat. It's just been bad. Working through it. Usually during the day it's a little bit better. Yesterday was rough all day, but right now I'm feeling pretty good. Day off here. But woke up, my hands were swollen and itchy, so when I itch them, I feel like terrible. It gets really bad, almost to the point where I can't bend my fingers. And then I'm just covered in bug bites or something. I don't know. It's weird because not like we were outside or anything last night. I've got, these aren't mosquito bites. There's something else. I have no idea what it is, and hoping I don't have bed bugs or something. But I've never seen this before, and it's pretty wild. So probably after the stream, gonna head over and go to the clinic and get checked up, I suppose. What the heck is going on? Because not comfortable and they're everywhere. Went to bed, had a few of these, had a few bug bites. So I'm like, I don't know what it is, like these little, like fleas or little bugs that we've been, you know, even when I've been sitting outside, the other day when we were sitting outside in the afternoon, like these little tiny, just, they're not mosquitoes. I mean, mosquitoes are bigger, you can see them. These are like tiny little bugs, and they'll bite you, and you'll see like a little blood even on your foot, and you're like, what got me? I don't know what it is, but maybe not too much information, but that's what's going on with me on this end. But we're finally up in the air, we're flying, we're making our way to Fiji. Had a rough start trying to get this plane going. Engine wouldn't start. Reloaded in a few times. Thing wouldn't work right. Flying over the beautiful Pacific. Not a ton out here to see. There is an island, it's called Rotuma, that will be off on our right. But that's about it. And then on our left, maybe off in the distance, could see Wallace and Futuna. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Tuvalu really is kind of just out there. And we'll have a beautiful approach into Fiji. I think we're planning runway 10, which will be an approach over the river into Nausori International. The airport we're flying into is about it's northeast of Suva, which is the capital of Fiji. Yeah, the approach will be coming in along the Rira River in Fiji, on the east side of Viti, Levu, the big southern island of Fiji. Alright, we're gonna set up our flight computer here for our approach. We're gonna be coming runway ILS 10. Execute. We have a discontinuity there, and doesn't have the transition point that we want. Our transition point is gonna be Delta 020. Delta 020 November. When we look at our plan, it kind of angles off a little bit, and then it should be kind of an arc. In reality, it's an arc right there at the end. Kind of pop that up on the charts here. There it is. We're gonna come in, ANRIC, and then kind of arc out. There'll be like an arc, 14-mile arc out from the ILS, or rather the VOR. The ILS is 96 degrees, 110.5, India November Alpha. Go on the arc, we'll get to Charlie India 10, and then on our final course of 096, need to be at 3,000 feet at Foxtrot 10, 3,000. That's where I guess, it looks like we're capturing the glide slope there. Need to make sure we get to that 3,000 because we won't be flying into it. Minimums 223, decision altitude 223 feet. If we miss the approach, it looks like we're going to climb out 96 degrees to 4,000 feet. Then looks like a return back to the VOR. Runway elevation 17 feet, or our minimum 223, 206 above the runway. We're seeing that northern island of Fiji coming up. Punch this in. Vision height 223. Yes. We'll get our final approach heading 96. Tbilisi to Dubai. Ah, that'd be a nice one. Tbilisi's Georgia, right? We've done that flight, or we did that flight in reverse. But let me write that down, and that will be, we can have that for the future, for sure. Flight. I don't want that flight request. What? No promises when I can do that, but I will have that in my queue, and I will set that up. So, Tbilisi to Dubai, FZ2712, fly Dubai. That'd be a fun flight. I have another, as I was saying a little bit earlier, I have about 58 more flights scheduled for this world tour. But then after that, it's kind of up in the air what we're gonna fly. And so, yeah, get these requests in. There might be times I do the requests instead of a world tour flight. Most of the time I'm going to do the world tour flights right now. But as we finish up the world tour, definitely be interested in flying some different places, flights we haven't done on the world tour. Really interested to get, you know, maybe at that point, by the time we get over to doing Tbilisi, Dubai, I'll be a little bit tired out with the Middle East, since we'll be flying over there towards the end of the world tour. But maybe could throw that in here since we're out in the Pacific, and a little blue. Going to Tbilisi to Dubai would be nice to get a little bit of a different scenery. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I'll look at scheduling that and setting that up, and that'd be an interesting flight to do. Probably, I'm assuming that's going to be in the Boeing 737, fly Dubai. That'll be nice. Maybe I'll save that for when we're kind of in a stretch of doing the A320 a bunch. Because after this flight, we're going to be doing the Boeing 737 a whole bunch, and we'll see. Yeah. As always, there is, in the description, there is a link to the Discord, and on the Discord for the channel, there is a section called Flight Requests, where you can put in your flight request. Basically, the way you just did it there, give me the departure, arrival, flight number, if it's a real-life flight, the airline, what plane it's in, or what plane you'd like to see it in. I like to try to fly as real-life flights as much as possible, but if it's a flight that's not 100% real, we can always figure something out too. Alright, so we do have the decision altitude in. Let's go down here to normal procedures and ascent. Landing elevation, FMS, nav performance. Go nav. And we need 110.3 for the ILS. Back. Again. Back here. 110.5 what we need. Alright, 110.5, let's put that on the active for the ILS. Oh, it's already active on the bottom one. Thanks. We're flying into Nausori, Fiji, so just a little bit northeast of Suva, Fiji, which is the capital. We're flying right now over the big northern island of the Fiji Islands. We're flying over right now. Levu island, and then the other one, the main island, or the capital island, Fiji, is Viti Levu. Which is going to be right under that cloud cover there. Alright, pulling up the MEDAR on my other screen. We got minimum VFR, broken clouds, 4-knot winds between 90 and 170 degrees, about 130. We're going to be coming in runway 10 should be sufficient for that. If it gets over to that extreme of 170, we'll have a little bit more crosswind, but it's only 4 knots. Unlimited visibility. Ceiling is 1,800 feet. Broken clouds at 4,500. Broken clouds at 1,800. And a QNH of 1014. So, all looking good. Right, let's see the temperature. Temperature 22 degrees Celsius. Coming up on our top of descent pretty soon. Alright, once we reach top of descent, we're going to go to 240 for our speed, and power management remains in cruise, and then power lever as required for the descent. We're trying to get to 3600. Our first waypoint on the approach after Anric is, we're going to have an altitude, but we're going to put in 3600 for our altitude over here. And once we reach the top of descent, we'll go into real time. Right now we're at 2 times speed. Vision height is in. Arrival briefing performed. Actually, I want to just do a quick look at our airport. Once we land runway 10, we're going to be exiting on the right if we're able to. Otherwise, we'll double back on runway 28. And then we only have a few parking options, so not too complicated an airport. After this flight, probably not this, probably maybe in the afternoon, I'm really probably gonna run over to the clinic and see what's going on with my hands, and covered in bug bites after sleeping last night, so I don't know what that is. Hoping not bed bugs or something, but really my hands are really itchy. And they're really swollen to the point where it hurts to bend my fingers and stuff. But the next flight, we're going to be going from Suva over to Nadi, right there, November Foxtrot, November. So a short flight, 20 minutes or so, and that will finish up our ATR76 portion of this world tour, and we'll enter our Boeing 737. Almost exclusive for quite a bit. I think we can actually start descending right now. I'm gonna pull back on. No signs on. Actually.
Sim rate 1.
There we go. We're going to try to get down to 3,600 feet. Pretty steep descent, isn't it? Whoa. A little aggressive, a little aggressive. Landing lights on, under 10,000. I have a great idea. Why don't we have 2 routes? Gulf Air Bahrain Tel Aviv and Air India Tel Aviv Delhi. I'm sure there's plenty of flights we can fly. There's plenty of flights out there. As I said, right now it's kind of the focus is on the world tour. We're going to knock out the world tour, and then there'll be plenty of options to fly. Beautiful, just, oh, look at that. Look at that. I feel like we're nosediving. Doesn't it look like we're nosediving? Oh my goodness. What a descent. Wow. Just coming through the clouds. Beautiful. Alright, I wonder how long I've been talking without the microphone on. Hey, Alphonsine. Alphonsine? Come in. Alright, so we're on our runway. We got the ILS. Weather is much better than it was our first approach a couple flights ago when we flew from Nadi. Now we're flying in from Tuvalu, but it's still the same approach in the runway 10 across the Rira River. Looking beautiful. A bit under speed. Throttle. Right, autopilot, yaw damper disengaged. Make it a manual.
500. Approaching decision height. Decision height.
Continue.
200.
Oh, we're a little high. Why I'm so far off to the right?
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Alright, not sure about that landing rate, but got it down. Landing lights off, strobe lights off. Stand by for our gas and that. Alright, taxi lights on. Turn off the probes. Field heating. And the flaps back in. And not exactly sure where the parking spot is. Let's see if we can get GSX to help us out. Yeah, it's really not clear where the actual parking spots are here. Gonna get parked. See what it does. Okay. Parking set. Gust lock. Weather radar and standby. We never turned it on actually. Okay, ground power lever, or power levers to ground idle. Condition levers to feather. Taxi light off. Caution off. Ground power wheel chocks. And fuel shut off. Yeah, it does look beautiful, doesn't it? Really enjoyable to do these flights in the ATR, especially coming in over Fiji. Hopefully the next flight from Suva back to Nadi we'll be actually able to see the Fuji countryside, which we weren't able to get a lot of on that first flight between the two. Alright, parking brake engaged. Taxi and takeoff lights. Feather beacon off. Standby, tail prop, and seatbelts off. See if GSX will here. This is kind of the problem, is that parking spots are not clear. That's actually fine. Let's find if we can get to one that's more in front of the gates. Or we'll just do that. Hey, request a boarding. Of course, I could set this airport up, just have them walk out here, but I think the bus... I didn't set up the whole airport. But again, I'm not going to take the time to do that. I don't have the time, always. Especially with these wonky parking spots.
Passengers bus is coming.
Alright, let's take a look at the flight on Volanta. Volanta actually worked today, so that's nice. Hi Volanta, review the flight. First person to arrive there today. Great shot down. Not much deviation. Nice approach, and our landing rate -238.
Passengers, the boarding.
40 passengers only. A small, lot less passengers than the last flight. There's our flight time. Not the real flight time. Our sim flight time. Sim flight time is going to be a little bit less. Let me put that, punch that in my spreadsheet. Get the accurate number for what we actually flew versus the real time, because we did do the accelerated time.
Bye. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Alright, so flight time was 2 hours 25 minutes, just a few minutes longer than our flight up to Tuvalu, which was 2 hours 22 minutes. And yeah, beautiful flight today. Weather cooperated nicely. Bastion's getting off right now. I'm not going to pop up the world map, don't have it open, and we're just back in Fiji. Next flight we're going to be flying over short 20-minute flight or so back over to Nadi to set us up then for a run of Boeing 737-800 flights, or 737 flights. Going up first to Kiribati, then out to Nauru, the Solomon Islands. And we're going to be in the 737 for probably the next 10 to 15 flights until we get into China. And then we'll be jumping back into the A320. So, thanks for coming along on the flight. Hope you enjoying the ATR. We're going to have one more ATR flight. That's the flight back over to Nadi. And then, as I said, we'll be in the Boeing 737 for a good stretch. This was World Tour Flight 253. I've got us planned to have 311 World Tour flights, so we're getting there. Probably by the end of the year, probably by the new year, we'll be finishing up doing a few scattered flights, maybe jumping into figuring out a flight to get into Antarctica, and we're doing a flight from Montreal over to I forget what it's called, but a little French area of Canada, Saint Pierre and Miquelon. Those will be our two final flights, but as going from point to point to point, our final flight will be into Palestine, into an airport that doesn't exist anymore, but that will be our final flight, continuous on this world tour. And a total we'll have about 311 world tour flights. I'm guessing by the end of this year, into the new year, we should be wrapping up, and then we'll go full-fledged into you guys suggesting flights, and those will happen a lot more often. Requested flights once we get to that point. So thanks for coming along. Look out this afternoon. I'll try to get in that short flight over to Nadi this afternoon, and then I'm not sure when my next flight to Kiribati will be, but I hope to see you then. Pay attention over on YouTube. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Give a like to this video, comment below. And if you're also on Twitch, you can follow my stream on Twitch, and that always helps out. And if you want to donate any little bit of money my way, not required at all, but it does allow me to buy some more little things, Microsoft Flight Simulator and other stuff. So until next time, happy flying and take care.